everybody, and welcome to V8 Online's live coverage of Monday Night V8 Supercars. We are back for 2017. We're coming a bit late to the part. It's round 8 of Season 1 of 2017, and we're in Japan this evening for a night race at Motegi, running the East configuration. Tonight, myself, Sam Sutton, and Jake Burton will be bringing you the call for the 25 cars around Motegi. Jake, looks like a cracker tonight with a strong field. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. It's been a bit of a weird season so far. We're actually seeing a bit of European soft starting to pop up, and it's actually really changed up the championship standings for the first time since the V8 sort of has been in iRacing. Yeah, definitely going to be an exciting one tonight. Long-time V8's Online viewers will remember an awesome race at this very car track combination a few years ago between Madison Down and Josh Muggleton, the Tats.com guys fighting for it. Absolutely great track for racing, and under the lights as well makes it an even more spectacular thing to watch. So yeah, 22 laps tonight, and qualifying's underway.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to the Euros, Jake, as you mentioned. We actually got Mark Perez leading the championship at the moment by 37 points over Tony Kloosterman. The first Australian's Luke Harvey back in third place at the moment, and he is in with us tonight. He's currently P4 in qualifying as they're just setting their laps. The second lap will definitely be the fastest tonight. It's an 18 degrees track, makes it very, very cold, and through to until about turn 6 or 7, there's very little grip out there. So we're looking for a shunt at turn 1, as much as we don't want that. Turn 1's a very tricky corner. You go from about 4 wide to at maximum about 2 wide. Into turn 1 there, so it'll be tricky to get through. Jake, who are you picking for the win tonight?
I think it's pretty hard to go past Josh Rogers, Sam. He's already got his 4 or so tenths in qualifying, and there's no doubt he'll go faster again on this second lap. In terms of the Australian guys, you can't really go past Josh Rogers this season. He's been so quick and pretty much won most of the Monday night softs, I believe. So yeah, Rogers very, very quick, and this will be an interesting prelude for him actually, because obviously V8 Scott's going to Twin Ring Motegi this season for the very first time since it was put together. So very exciting track.
Yeah, Rogers has got great pace. We're actually just live with Rogers at the moment as he's on his second qualifying lap now. He's on pole at the moment at 18.9. Can he go quicker? I think he will probably go about 3 tenths quicker. He's just gone deep at the final corner though. Gets a good exit. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. That's
going to be a non-improvement.
Oh no, 200.
A very slight improvement, sorry. Yeah, Rogers definitely made a bit of he had a bit of snap oversteer on entry into the second to last corner and then ran wide in the last, so I'd say that blew his 3 tenths advantage, but Ryan O'Sullivan coming a little bit closer, a couple extra tenths on his second lap, but I don't think anyone's going to dethrone Rogers off that pole position.
Yeah, Ryan O'Sullivan, I did the early race tonight. He had some good pace in there. He actually was he did a 19.3 now, so we found some pace from the last session when it was the same conditions. Jason Dixon was in the last race as well. Didn't have a great result. I think he got turned at turn 4 pretty on. He'll be starting out of 3rd place at the moment. Nick Cummins, in the KRF Racing Falcon, he's actually shown a good turn of pace this week, in there in 4th place, not far behind Dixon. So there's a few names coming through now, as of course we've missed a couple of weeks of the season. There's a few names you haven't seen around. A lot of Euros coming in now with his car, and I think the changes that iRacing made to the tyre model last build have actually made this car a lot more fun to drive. It's a lot less of you can just smash it for 22 laps and it's going to be great. You've got to actually work the bars, work the bias now, get the balance right, because the tyres, even in 18 degrees, will go off.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Obviously, a big element of strategy now is going to be the tyres. For so many years with this car, the future V8 Supercar, it's been literally a matter of fuel, tank to tank, and just see what happens. But now it's a whole new story. It's not going to be as strong on these colder tracks, but it'll definitely still be noticed. A couple of surprises, actually, just looking back through the field. Mitchell McLeod all the way down in 11th. I don't think he'll be too happy with that. Corey Preston as well down in 13th. So a lot of quick guys sort of edging towards that middle back end of the field, so look for them to be coming through. Bit of a shout out to Thomas Hines as well. He joined us in the commentary box earlier in the V8 Scott season in 2016, so a bit of a V8's Online member back there.
Yeah, helped us back at VIR for the 500, and I don't know if he's been in the box since, but he's in the car having a whirl tonight. We'll plug while we're here. V8's Online now running some live timing over on our website, so v8online.com/live, and then the little dash and then timing. I think we can get our director to throw a link in somewhere, but we've got live timing now, brought to you through our brand new website as well, which launched last week. You're able to catch all our live events through there. That includes tonight's or the Monday night's Hashtag V8 Mondays, V8 Scops, when that starts, and as well as the Sunday Carrera Cup Series, which starts on February 26th.
Yeah, I think everyone's absolutely fallen in love with this Porsche 991 GT3 Carrera Cup car, basically, and it's so exciting to see another car that's so popular in Australian motorsport being represented once again in iRacing. So, yeah, that Carrera Cup series will be very exciting, and of course got EMR Industries on board as our sponsor.
Now, we have just had qualifying finish, Jack, so we'll run through the grid really quickly while they grid up. So we've got Josh Rogers, sorry, I didn't say Josh, but Josh Rogers on pole there. Ryan O'Sullivan starting off P2 with him there. Jason Dixon third with Nick Cummings in fourth. And Luke Harvey is fifth. David Morales, one of the Euros in the session, is sixth. Jordan Ross from Synergy Sim Racing is seventh. Matthew Stratford, eighth. Glenn Postlethwaite in ninth. And rounding out the top 10 is Adam Zeidinger, who's recently this season transferred over from Evolution Racing Australia to Proforce Racing.
Yeah, Proforce Racing, a pretty tight-knit team that's getting bigger and bigger, but as we mentioned, Mitchell McLeod is going to be 11th. That's a fair way further down the grid than he'd like. Craig Jones, 12th. Corey Preston, 13th. Adam Hyland, a good result for him in 14th. Todd Parks, 15th. Benjamin J. Smith, 16th. Ryan Shelton down in 17th. Stuart Vaughan, 18th. Sean Chappell, 19th. And Jeff Gauci rounding out your 20. But the guys are starting to grid up now, Sam.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty hectic start. Big thing is managing the wheel spin now with this new tyre model. Not as much grip off the launch. I know I've struggled personally with it. Rogers has struggled a bit as well. And starting off pole actually isn't ideal. You kind of want to start second, and I saw it earlier when I raced with Ryan O'Sullivan. If you can even just get your nose there at turn one if you're starting on the inside, you've got the run through turn two, and then you can hold the high ground in three. And then through that little 4-5, the quick little switchback section, you've got the run. So I'd look for Ryan O'Sullivan to even just throw it in deep, trust the cold tyre grip if he's got any in the car, and look to just push Rogers wide at turn two. It's I know the TTL cars will struggle on cold tyres for that first half a lap, but it'll be interesting to see if Rogers can get the launch. If he can't get the launch, it's going to be interesting the first part of this race.
Yeah, sure is, but we know Rogers, he's aggressive, he's fast. Even if he drops 5 places, he'll probably be able to make it back through, but it'll certainly make it a lot more exciting. Personally think Rogers is going to absolutely walk away with this one, but we should have only a few seconds now until we'll see the lights starting to pop up. 25 cars here, 22 laps around Twin Ring Motegi as the revs are starting to rise. The green light is out, they are away.
Looks like a okay launch from Rogers, moves us to the driver's right to colour off Ryan Sullivan down into turn one. Good start from Rogers, down the inside he goes. He's just going to hold the inside line. We've got 3 wide there, Harvey, Dixon. Oh, who's that down the inside? Contact! Oh, massive crash at turn one. Massive crash. We'll have to get a replay of that in a sec. We'll just see who survived that and we'll get a corrected order shortly. But there's someone came bombing down the inside like, I'm going to say, an absolute idiot.
That was David Morales actually just got loose on the cold tyres.
There's another crash in 2 and 3. This race has gone off. Oh, a bit more contact between, who's that? It looks like Jordan Ross. Who's he with there?
We've actually lost about 8 cars in that first corner accident and then more in the preceding accident, so
yeah, that
it's going to be a lot of
bit
guys
sketchy.
making big gains.
Replay's just on screen at the moment. Morales' big dive, got Luke Harvey there at the apex, and that's just pushed him out across the track and turned everyone and taken a half. We'll get to the timing resets and we'll get you some updated positions there, but it looks like we've already lost Jeff Gauci, Mitch McLeod, David Morales, Craig Jones, Luke Harvey and Todd Parks.
There's going to be some guys who have probably made some big gains off that, actually. If you manage to get through those shunts, you're probably going to make up probably 10 or so positions. So, yeah, we'll see the timing reset. Josh Rogers is going to come across to lead the first lap with a 7/10 of a second margin over Ryan O'Sullivan.
Yeah, Ryan's gone with him. Dixon as well, a good start. He's had a better start than the last race. He's hanging there with O'Sullivan. Stratford up to 4th from 8th. Zeidinger up to 5th and 10th. Hyland 6th from 14th, right on to Adam Hyland. Stuart Vaughan's followed him through as well from 18th up to 7th. Stuart Vaughan actually showed some great pace in the Americas race on Saturday and stuck with the lead guys for a bit. I haven't seen him in the V8 much this season. Of course, I've only just come back to drive it as well, but he's showing some good pace. Ben Smith in the race on Oz Falcon battling with Ryan Shelton in the Hybrid Racing Simulations Commodore.
Just behind them, big shout out to the ERA team manager Brenton O'Brien, up from 22nd, he's up to 11th after that first lap debacle.
He's running the modified aero package though. He's running the light bonnet package. just getting a bit of extra cooling that night air into the engine bay. He's got a train. Thomas Hinds, Nick Cummings, Jordan Ross, Anthony Mancarella. Everyone's just queuing up behind him at the moment.
And look out for Corey Preston. He's actually just behind this pack and no doubt will have probably, unless he's got a bit of damage, he'll probably have the most pace out of all these guys. As we see in front, big dive from Nick Cummings. He's going to almost pull it off though.
He's got
Jordan
the
Ross
run.
is going to look.
If Hinsey can hold that inside line into the final corner, if he finds does go deep enough. Ross having a look as well, thinking about 3 wide. Big dive from Hinsey. Oh, he's running wide.
He's locked a break.
Ross is going to benefit.
Break there.
Ross.
Jordan Ross is down the inside.
Alright, now Ross might be able to get Thomas here as well.
Oh, he's going to have to be brave to do it, but we'll see.
Oh, those Synergy cars have been good on the brakes all week long.
Here he comes.
No. Oh, Corey Preston, big dive in the back. He's going to get 2 guys in one. Corey's going to get him.
Ross has turned around Heinze.
Oh, and Postlethwaite's been turned as well.
Yes. Absolute carnage here.
This race has gone off. We've been back for 3 laps, and it's gone berserk. Our director's just saying he can't keep up.
Jordan Ross has actually just clipped the back of Heinze there at the apex. Bit of netco contact there maybe. It was ambitious to go for that second move, but it is a downhill braking zone and very easy to misjudge it.
Also, it does tighten up a fair bit the road at the apex there. It might have caught him out. The other one was... We're actually just grabbing a replay of the crash at turn 1 now. So Jordan Ross turning Thomas Hinds, and I believe it was Preston that might have turned Postlethwaite, or maybe Mancarella. So our director's just saying it was Anthony Mancarella who turned around Postlethwaite there. Because Corey had a very, very deep dive on Postlethwaite there into 1. Postlethwaite's actually smoking, so I think he'll be parking the car. Up front though, Rogers 2-second lead over O'Sullivan, who's got 7/10 back to Rogers' teammate Jason Dixon.
Yeah, Rogers absolutely checking out at this stage. He's just out there for a bit of glorified practice at the moment as he drives away from the
quali
field.
time. He's just done an 18.7, 2/10 faster than his quali time.
That's nuts, really, isn't
So
it?
there's pace to burn in these TTL Falcons at the moment, and I think Jason, once the tyres come up, takes about 8 to 9 laps actually I've seen to get the tyres up to pressure. Once they come up, I expect Dixon to drive past O'Sullivan.
Looking back in the field, we got a nice
Oh, in the
little
back, sorry,
battle pack.
we've just seen Adam Highland's just been turned.
Another
He's
big
just
axe.
been turned by Benjamin Smith. I'm not sure if we got them in the back of shot.
Actually, no. Highland was out of control already. He actually blocked a rear brake trying to miss Stuart Vaughan, and
So
has sort of been caught unlucky with Benjamin Smith there.
Yeah, Ben Smith just hasn't read that change of pace from Highland as he's tried to catch the car before he collides with Vaughan. Sorry, and yeah, Smith's just turning around. So not going well there.
It's an absolute
This is a
war
messy
zone out
race.
there.
This is messier than I expected tonight.
Just looking at Corey Preston now all over the back of Jordan Ross coming into the last corner. Gonna have a big dive. Ross has gone deep. Corey should have him clear by the exit.
Or
Good move
exit
there.
oversteer from Corey though. He's not going to have the great run. Ross might duck back to the inside. Corey's running to the pit wall almost. Corey goes defensive. And then goes back. That's not on from Corey. That's not on, mate.
It's okay, he gave him a car width, that's all he needed to give. It was a bit aggressive.
Crisscross. Not going to
Not
happen.
quite. Having a move into...
Oh, he's giving him a punt. He's had enough of the defence.
Corey's
Punt him off
caught
the
it.
road.
Corey's caught it though. Oh.
And then in that carnage, Ross has slowed up to let Corey go to the car, and Cummings had just gone and centre punched the boot. Goodbye the rear wing. Low downforce now for Jordan Ross.
I don't know how there's any straight cars left out there, Sam. This
But
is
here comes a dive from Hall. I don't think there is any straight cars except for the top 3. Maybe even the top 5, I think.
Got several Ford Cougars and Holden Cruisers going around out there at the moment. But just one thing I wanted to comment on while we've got a slight break between bombings. The how awesome in these night races do these glowing brakes look? Absolutely fantastic. So cool to see some of the brakes glowing out there. Really adds the appeal to go night racing. I think we'll definitely try and go night racing in V8 Scops this season.
Yeah, the night racing just adds another element of that. The track's always closed. Looking at Dixon at the moment, he's battling with O'Sullivan, half a second between these two, 4.2 from O'Sullivan to the lead. But the night racing adds that element of cold track, and it really does show the guys who've got good feel for the car and what grip is available on those first few laps. You can get the guys who are quick but struggle to keep that car on the road when it's really, really twitchy. The guys who are good, they'll keep it on the road and doing some quick laps. We've seen from Rogers, he's actually still in the 18s. He's done 18.7, another 7, and now he's done a 6.
Yeah, he's just in a world of his own. Absolutely insane from Josh Rogers, but yeah, he's definitely got the feel for it, and obviously one of the big problems about night racing as well is your visibility. It's not so bad as we're watching Zeidinger and Stratford going at it again.
Yeah, Preston's just gone up mid. Nick Cummings has just turned Jordan Ross. We're looking up at Corey Preston passing Bretton O'Brien. And Jordan Ross has had a cheeky look to the inside of Brenton. And Nick Cummings hasn't read it at all. He's carried his normal apex speed, and around goes Jordan Ross. And I think he's actually escaped. He's done. Jordan Ross is done for this race.
It wouldn't surprise me if he'd hit an incident cap, because I'm pretty sure Jordan Ross has been
he
backwards
might, yeah.
3 or 4 times in this race.
I'm just going to watch that back, see if he did actually sort of disappear straight away. He did, so yeah, he actually didn't escape. He got DQ'd. It's lap 5 or so. Lap 6, and he's already been disqualified. So lap 7, already done. That's ridiculous.
Classic night racing though, Sam. When you race late at night, mate, everyone gets tired, so
And the time difference between Australia and Japan is really messing with some of the guys as well.
yeah.
It must be a full moon as well. It's all over the shop tonight as we're looking at Strady and Zeidinger still going at it. We've got Stuart Vaughan in the background just sort of lurking, ready to pick up any scraps. These two have one of the straighter cars on the track. So top 5 pretty straight cars. Stuart Vaughan looks pretty straight as well. Everyone's got bent panels.
I've got to give it to Zeidinger and Stratty. I don't want to put the jinx on them, but they're two of the guys that have actually fought and not run into each other, unlike most of the field. So, yeah, these guys are showing each other a lot of respect and a lot of patience, and quite a bit of smart driving here so far.
Well, 22 laps, it does go quickly at Motegi, but there's a lot of places to pass here. Turn 1 is a very legitimate passing opportunity. It's great for that deep dive. The last 2 corners, legitimate overtaking opportunities. Uphill into the left by Ursus, that's legit as well. There's so many, pretty much every corner is a passing opportunity. Strategy's locked his inside front, around a bit wide. Watch for the run from Zeidinger.
It's really just a classic Japanese sort of track, Sam. You got long straights, big braking, straight line braking zones, and then 90-degree or more corners. That's sort of the Japanese sort of way of circuits. Okayama is a circuit that we go to, which is a lot like that. Even Suzuka, to an extent, is a lot like that. So I really like these Japanese tracks. They're nice and cambered and have good curves that you can just sit the car on and drive around. So Japanese tracks definitely great for these V8 supercars.
Zeidinger having a look on Stratford into turn 6 and thinks better of it. Vaughan is though catching quite quickly. Last lap from these two up in front was a 20.3, Vaughan did 20.1. However, up the front, Rogers is checking out at the tune of about a second a lap. So we can ignore him, he's probably won this one already, provided it doesn't blow the motor up.
Or have his internet drop out. Don't want to put the curse on Rogers, but he does have his fair share of average luck.
Internet issues for hearing for Zeitinger at the moment. His ping's gone through the roof at the moment, but his quality's still there. It's coming down. Yeah, we've just seen, so Bretton O'Brien's been shuffled 2 places back. Cummings and Holland have both gone through. So that battle's still resuming there between Nick and Adam. Adam in a Pennzoil Falcon. Now this is a confusing one, Jake. The Ryan Shelton and Corey Preston battle. These cars look very similar, but they're from entirely different teams.
Yeah, I guess the easiest way to pick them apart is one's a Commodore and one's a Falcon. So
and one's sponsored by Hybrid Racing, and here we go down Corey down the inside. He's not going to pull that up. He's not going to pull that up.
He has. That's really well done by Corey. He must have been on the limit of those brakes there.
Well, a lot of engine braking too. I don't know if I wouldn't want to be that engine. It was probably revving about 7.5 every gear shift trying to stop that car. But well done to Corey there. He's pulled that up. Up into ninth for him now. Yeah. And Corey running a new sponsor as well, A1 Signs and Graphics there. Of course, 6 Boost gone to TTR this year. They were his sponsor previously.
Yeah, speaking of liveries, we've actually got to give a shout out to Custom Image Concepts, who put together the overlay package for the new Monday V8 series, which is really awesome. Looks fantastic, I think we can all agree.
Yeah, new overlays themselves and new overlay software this year. We've changed over from our old software, the IRTV overlays, now over to the ATVO. So everything should be a bit smoother and looking very sweet. Andrew Asai's done a great job with his overlay package.
does look brilliant.
So David Morales, looks like we've lost him from the race. He was running 14th, about 38 seconds off the lead. He's in the pits. I believe he's not done. Don't think anything...
Oh,
He's
boys. Josh Rogers actually had a shocking lap last time by, only a 19.2.
Yeah, I've just had a look back and seen what David's done. He's just gone and turned Sean Chappelle. Flat out just turned him in his parking car.
Yeah, I think maybe David Morales has had a bit of a rough night out there tonight. Had a couple shunts, but just looking at Matt Stratford and Stuart Vaughan, these guys are actually going at it a little bit again.
Yes, so Vaughan's jumped Leidinger. Yeah, Vaughan's jumped Leidinger there while we're looking away. So Vaughan shows some good pace. He's actually, the last couple of laps, been about a tenth, 2 tenths faster than these guys.
Yeah, Stuart Vaughan's actually one of those names you don't hear too much, but he is absolutely a veteran when it comes to
he's giving Stratty a bump. Stratty struggling with this inside front locking into the slow speed corners. What that touch from Vaughan's going to do is give Zeidinger a run now into turn 1, but Zeidinger just does the old, I'm going to throw a dummy but have no intent of passing you. As Jake and I'm a big fan of that move on him. I always just pull out and then pull back in.
Yeah, absolutely right there, but Sandman actually loves that one as well. I remember, I think it was watching Josh Rogers at Sebring in V8 Scott. Sandman was loving those moves. But Vaughan, seemingly actually, just that little tap there with Matt Stratford seems to have broken his rhythm a little bit. He's missing a couple apexes and struggling to put the power down a little bit, so he's just going to refocus and he'll be feeling the pressure from Zeidinger as well.
Yeah, potentially just looking in the mirrors a bit more. The lights do get actually quite distracting if you've got running the cockpit mirrors in the car. If they get closer and they start to move about, it does sort of fill your vision, and if you've got a dirty screen, the lights coming through the back of the car can actually make it very hard to see. As Rogers, half distance, and he's already in some lap traffic. Granted, they are a couple of laps down. So he's just starting lap 12 of 22, so 11 more laps to go.
I think we should take this opportunity to just talk up Josh Rogers a bit. This guy is absolutely insane. Remember, you guys, I think you did it solo, Sam, but in the Daytona 24 just been, Josh Rogers jumped in practically without practice into a GT3 car and took it to Maximilian Benecke in the Pure Racing team car, so he has pace in pretty much anything he drives.
Yeah, Rogers has sort of come out of nowhere really when TTL signed him at the start of 2015, start of 2016. He's really just jumped up through the ranks. He's probably now one of the better racers in Australia. He's up in there in the Blancpain GT series now, running with himself and Jared Filsell. And with the other TTLR car, we should have a strong season from those guys. But we're just going to focus on this battle pack still with Stratford, Vaughan and Zeidinger, because it is on. It's a full-on three-way battle now between these guys. Vaughan's got his rhythm back, caught up, and is now second covering these three cars.
Yeah, that's it, Sam. Seems as though none of these guys, like, I'm not sure if it's just the night racing aspect, maybe the tyres just struggling a little bit, but these guys seem to be just struggling to be consistent at the moment. Like, they'll get close and then they'll drop back again. No one's really had a proper chance to actually have a move, so these guys need to focus, as we see Stuart Vaughan actually having a bit of a lock up there into the penultimate corner.
Yeah, it's sort of just a procession at the moment. No one's really game enough to have that big dive. There's still a fair bit of distance to go in this race. We'll look probably the last 5 laps, we'll see them having a real dig. Vaughan will just sit there, spot what he can do to Stratty there, find their weaknesses, and just go for it.
Yeah, no doubt about that, but Vaughan definitely seems strong under brakes. So I'm starting to think if he's going to have a go, it'll be into turn 1, or it'll be into 4, which is the corner after this chicane here.
He's actually had a good run here through 2, 3. Did he get through 4 and 5? I think he's actually on the brakes through 4 and 5, which kills your run. Might need to get someone on the earpiece to him and say, don't carry the brake, just let the final and go through there. Because he gains a lot of time through 2 and 3, then loses it all through the next right and left-hander, which then gives Zeidinger the run.
Stratty's actually locking up as well, but Stratty seems to be sort of going a bit slower into the corner and letting the car rotate and squaring the exits off, which is actually sort of preventing Vaughan from actually getting a run, and now Vaughan's under pressure from Zeidinger. So If I was Zeidinger, I'd be trying to have a move on Vaughan before Vaughan has a move on Strutty.
Well, just watching this lap, Jake, it seems like Vaughan is very strong through the first half of the lap. Come the second half, he's not as strong as Stratford, and Zeidinger's the other way. He's not as strong through the first half, and then much stronger in the back half of the lap. Stratty's sort of okay everywhere. And that's what you want at the moment. Leading a pack, you want to be okay everywhere, have no glaring weakness and no glaring strength, because then you can't really just attack one point of that driver's, of that car in front.
Yeah, that's it. We should also mention this three-car battle pack, all Falcons. You TTL guys seem to have started a little bit of a trend.
I got to go for the uniformity. TTL cars have gone all Falcons, and the classic Ford v Holden battle between us and TTR this season, or this year, sorry. And at Ryan Shelton and Nick Cummings on screen. This is for 9th and 10th. Shelton's car's a bit beat up there on the right hand side, a bit of door damage. Very
Also,
committed.
A lot of body roll. Ryan Shelton's car's got a heap of body roll.
Cummings having a dive.
Oh, that's deep.
Ah, it was a good dive. He's siding the dummy to the left. Shelton sort of switched off and he's gone straight back to the right. Good move, but he's got to get the run here because you can't hold the outside. Shelton's just going to back him though. Shelton's going to have a dive. He's going to have a dive with the left hand here. What's he going to do? He throws it in there. Gets it back. Well, good driving there from Ryan Shelton. Yeah, this has brought Highland into the fray.
And back up front, just in front, should I say, Corey Preston trying to get around Benjamin Smith. Corey tried to go to the outside, didn't pay off, so lots of little two-car battles popping up here.
Here we go, Cummings has another run on Shelton.
I would have waited to turn one.
Another dive. Oh, if you can hold him at the apex, you're going to be alright, but Shelton's done something and stayed out of line. All Shelton's got to do is get the run and throw it down the inside. Preston goes down the inside on Smith in turn one up in front. Preston's gone very deep again.
Watch Shelton. Shelton on the inside. There's not much of an overlap here into one. They're going to go too wide.
He's just got to stay there. Just keep your nose there and you can't turn in. Oh no. He's going to give Highland a look now because his run's going to be compromised.
It's quite hard to sight these apex. This apex right there, actually, Sam. Even by yourself, so when you're actually behind a car, it's going to be quite difficult for
Here we go, Highland having a look.
He's got to run.
He's got to be careful with the dive, but he doesn't go too deep and collect the back of Cummings, and he gets that done.
Shelton struggling under brakes a little bit by the looks, because Highland didn't look like he was under too much pressure there. Good move by Adam Highland. Of course,
well, he could be running the car pretty soft, as we've seen the sort of excess body roll he's got. Soft cars aren't the greatest under brakes.
I do believe Adam Highland has actually gone privateer now, Sam.
Yeah,
obviously
he has.
ex-Proforce Racing member.
Yeah, so he's jumped out of the seat at Proforce, and Adam Zeilinger's jumped in. 14th and 15th though, get Jeff Gauci and Sean Chappelle. Chappelle's running a sort of Comma Cruise body kit at the moment, and Gauci's just taking the fenders off.
Gauci.
He nearly joined the back seat there, did Gauci.
All these guys seem to be driving these cars a lot on the rear. Yeah, they're just trying to use those rear brakes to get them rotated. Obviously the problem with that is that if you do pitch it in a bit deep, it's going to rotate on you, which Gauci nearly did there, but well recovered. Meanwhile, Josh Rogers has actually pulled out a 12-second lead, and we're hearing that Brenton O'Brien's been passed by Todd Parks, so good move there from Todd Parks.
12th position. We'll just look at second and third. Just a quick update, Jason Dixon still behind Ryan O'Sullivan there for second, within about 9/10, so I think this will be on later part. It's lap 16 going on 17, so we've got about 6 more laps. I think this will be on for second place. As of Stratford and Vaughan having a look to the outside of the second to last corner on Stratford. Cuts it back under, trying to crisscross. He doesn't have a good enough run though to have a dive here at the final corner. In fact, no, he does. He's just down for it. He's just, locked the rears. No contact though.
Good job pulling it up. This is going to be a drag race. Zeidinger's rubbing his hands together here. He's waiting for these guys to come together so he can capitalise.
Vaughan's pulled back the line, and that's... Oh, he's going to go for it straight. He's got in the middle of the road. Vaughan is very deep. Very, very deep. He's not going to pull it up. Stratford underneath. Zeidinger underneath.
And one down for Zeidinger. His patience has prevailed for one pass. Let's see if he can get the second one down. But Strutty actually is quite quick, so I'm thinking he might be able to pull a gap here.
I think Zeidinger's just had the pace over Vaughan the last few laps and he's been biding his time, looking after the tyres. of course, a big thing. You know, Solomon and Dixon just under half a second now. We'll check on that once we see what results from Zeidinger Stratford here.
We're seeing Ryan Shelton has dropped off the timing screens. Whether that's an internet
I think it's a DQ.
drama or
It's a DQ.
He does. No, he's back. He's got 90 quality, so he's actually dropping some internet because he's back on track now. So maybe just some internet dramas. Obviously, Ryan Shelton being one of our resident American racers.
Now, O'Sullivan, Dixon, it's officially on between these two now. 5 to go. And I think Dixon's going to have a lunge here soon. He's been looking after the car. He's within half a second now. And when you're that close, you start filling the mirrors quite substantially with your car. And I think the TTR car is good under brakes. I'm not sure about the ERA car, so we'll see what he can do. I think Dixon has just been waiting and he'll throw a move here shortly. But Rogers checked out, 14-second lead.
He has been chasing O'Sullivan for a while, and I'm starting to think maybe that started to hurt his front tyres, because Dixon, just in the slower corners, the ones where you need to rely on that front end to get you rotated, seems to be struggling with a bit of understeer. So Dixon maybe just want to get on the brakes a little bit earlier and let that car rotate so he can get the run.
So we just look, Ryan Shelton had Parks right under his rear wing, but Parks has just gone off the road and he's disappeared off my screen. I think he's got a few dramas going on. He's sitting in the dirt at the exit of 4 and 5. And he just looks like he's escaped, I think.
If he dropped a wheel, it could
No, I
have
think
been
he
a
didn't
DQ.
DQ. He was definitely still there while he was sitting in the dirt.
Yeah, a bit bizarre
Potentially
there.
some hardware issues there. Maybe the Sims alt tabbed on him and he's just gone straight ahead and pulled it up. But Dixon and O'Sullivan, this is the closest they've been.
Yeah, again though, something about this track, if you don't have a car that can put the power down pretty much perfectly, it's really difficult to get a run. Like, you see guys like Dixon, and we saw Zeidinger doing it earlier, you get close, but you just can't get all the way there.
Speaking of Zeidinger, he's still in that fight with Stratford, locked in behind him with 4 more laps remaining.
See again, Dixon through some of these high speed corners towards the back section of the track, just...
Or big dive from Zeidinger. He's locked the fronts trying to get that car pulled up. I mean, he just went a bit deep. He's nearly centre punched the rear of Stratford's car, and we've just lost Todd Parks through internet connection issues. He's
could have
very
been
close
a
here
game
though.
crash or something as well there from Parksy.
Could have been. Zeidinger though is extremely close coming through the S section towards the second to last corner. Not close enough though to have a dive. He lost a bit of time in the last half of those S's.
I reckon turn 1 is probably Adam's best bet here. If he can sort of drive it in deep into this last corner, maybe get in the mirrors of Stratty and try and square this exit off, which he has
He's locked that
done.
inside front. But diving in deep into the last corner doesn't actually help your exit. You're better off to pull it back a bit, hug it tight, and you get the narrower run off. You get a bit of exit, pull up more time. 3
to go.
laps remaining.
Zeidinger.
Vaughan's back in this now too as well.
Yeah, Zeidinger sort of needs to make a move soon, I think, because this is a track that you can cover. It's very difficult to get it done in a few places around here on the outside. Zeidinger's actually missed the apex of the chicane. This could be a run
Oh, he's
for
loose
Vaughan.
as well. Vaughan's off in the gravel though. But
Using
Vaughan's
all
got
the
the
track
run.
and some.
He's not going to have a dive. You need to sort of make the move with 2 to go and hope with 1 to go you're close enough to have just a wild stab at it.
Vaughan's closing.
Vaughan's actually closed up significantly here on Zeidinger, who's dropped off the back of Stratford.
Whoa, bit of snap oversteer at the apex there of that flat out right. Vaughan ever closing. He's going to have a bit of a wider entry into this one. He could be able to get the run, but just hasn't quite put the power down as nicely as he would have liked. Oh, Vaughan's locked the brakes. That's going to ruin his run this time round.
So we're hearing that a car's potentially blown up in around... Luke Harvey is slow off the exit of the second to last corner. I think he's done. He's blown his motor. He was a lap down, was caught up in that turn 1 crash, and he's done.
That motor actually popped under acceleration. That's really bizarre.
Could have just overheated it, too heavy on the gear shifts, can bring that temperature up, and it just gets to a point where it's like, nah, I'm done, and decides to blow up.
Also had a bit of front end damage. It could have had a hole in that radiator, but either way, bit of a shame for Luke Harvey. He's done really well this season, so he won't be liking that. But back to the action with Stratford, Zeidinger and Vaughan. They have spread out a little bit.
It's 2 to go, well, 1.5 to go now. Stratford's looking good. He's just driven his car smooth and straight, which is what you need to do if you're in front of a pack like this that's sort of looking to make a pass. And as well for second and third, that gap's extended out to a second now, so I think O'Sullivan's got second pretty much locked in, providing he doesn't make a mistake.
The Cummings, Highland and Smith battle has closed up a bit, but Cummings has actually disappeared for me, so I'm not exactly sure where he's gone.
Here as well. Doesn't look like internet problems.
Potentially a DQ.
Potentially, yes. But that means Highland's right over the back of Smith now.
He's got a hit from Highland coming out of turn 1 and disappeared, so that's Cummings disqualified. That's a big shame.
Cheeky tactic there from Highland. Just DQ the guy in front, gain in position. Been a mistake from Dixon as well on the last lap. He's dropped 5 seconds off of O'Sullivan, as it is the final lap. So our leader's just coming through the third to last corner now to take what will be a very commanding ring for Josh Rogers. He won the Saturday Americas race and is going to take out the main race here on Monday night. The return of V8's online to broadcast duties. Josh Rogers' dominant performance of the hotly stimulated TTL Falcon. Coming around the final corner.
If we can quickly take a look back, boys, Zeidinger and Stratford are going at it. We've been waiting all race for these two. Zeidinger's now been having a look.
Oh, Zeidinger got loose on exit 4.
Mirrors.
He was lining up for a dive. He's got the fireworks going off in the background as well.
Oh, Zeidinger.
I think Stratty's got this.
He's trying to get in the mirrors.
Zeidinger needs a very, very good exit.
Oh, he's got it.
Not quite. He had good mid corner.
He could almost do it. Get in the mirrors.
Stratford's got. Oh, someone's blown up in the background. I've heard someone blow up in the background, but it's not one of these guys.
Well done to Stratty. He's going to take home P4.
So yeah, Rogers with the win. O'Sullivan second, Dixon in third. That's your podium. Rogers doing some drifting. Stuart Vaughan sixth. Some of the drivers are a bit perplexed by the fireworks. Corey Preston crossing the line in 7th from 13th on the grid. Oh, Highland was very close to Smith, but didn't get it done. So that means Smith 8th, Highland 9th. So Shelton gets O'Brien at the end of the race there to finish 10th.
That's a really good result from Brenton O'Brien though, 22nd to 11th. A lot of guys making big benefits. I think Stuart Vaughan was probably the best of the lot, 18th to 6th. He will be stoked with that. He's even doing a nice little burnout for us, he's that happy.
So that race, Jake, it threw up all the excitement in about 4 laps, and then there wasn't much that could get us more excited from then on. But first broadcast of the year, couldn't get much more excitement than that, could you?
I think you couldn't get much more bent panels than that. That was
true.
There was a fair bit of violence going on out there, but we got our results up. Joshua Rogers for Team TTL taking a dominant 17-second victory over Ryan O'Sullivan, and Jason Dixon, his stablemate, in third with a 20-second margin back, and then a big gap back to that battle we saw pretty much all race long. Matt Stratford becoming the best of that lot, and Zeidinger in 5th, as well as Stuart Vaughan in 6th. Corey Preston with a decent recovery to bring home 7th after a couple impacts in that first corner debacle, should I say. Benjamin Smith in P8, Adam Highland in 9th, and Ryan Shelton's going to round out your 10.
And then over in 11th place, Brenton O'Brien, great result from him from 22nd. Sean Chappell is 12th with Jeff Goetze in 13th. Tim Foltz 14th with Thomas Hins, the last car on the lead lap, in 15th. From there, really into the lap cars and the DNF, so we've got Gary Cousins 1 lap down in 16th. Nick Cummings, who did have the DQ at the end there, 2 laps down in 17th. Luke Harvey, 18th, blew his motor at the end of the race there. 19th, Todd Parks. 20th is Anthony Mencarella, and all these guys sort of had severe issues. So Craig Jones, 21st, Glenn Postlethwaite, 22nd, David Morales, 23rd, 24th, Jordan Ross and Mitch McLeod didn't even finish 1 lap, is 25th.
Yeah, I think McLeod actually ended up on his lid in that first corner incident. So a lot of guys taken out there. Hopefully, when we come here in Scops, we're not going to see that sort of dramas. But yeah, not the cleanest race we've ever seen here on the Monday nights. But it's been good to be back, Sam. I think that's something we can say for sure.
Yeah, but you couldn't expect anything different really from Motegi. It is a bit of tricky turn one, and it's extremely cold in the night races. Little grip. We just saw sort of a wild move there from David, which sort of made it a bit interesting at turn one. But yeah, other than that, it was a great race from Rogers. Led it, lights the flag, drove away from the field, got a clean start, which is something that none of the TTL cars had in the few races that we've done this week. So clean start once for one of our cars, and away he went. Ryder Sullivan, great drive for second, and Jason Dixon, recovery from the last race in third. All in all, pretty exciting race. Jay, I'd be happy to come back next week and do this again as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. I'm not actually sure where we're off to next week, but we're here in Zandvoort.
Off to the Netherlands.
That's a massive favourite of mine. Awesome track in the V8. Really disappointing we actually haven't been there for a series like V8 Scops and stuff like that. It's really fantastic circuit, world-class track. So lots of elevation change, and the guys will have some difficulty, that's for sure, getting these V8s to handle around there. But yeah, it should be interesting nonetheless. I think we could have a couple drivers coming in for interviews, Sam.
Yeah, we've just got Jason Dixon, down in the green room. So we'll bring him up if we want to. So we got Jason Dixon in the box, third position today. A much better result than the early race. Jason, good drive there. Just couldn't quite get O'Sullivan at the end there, mate.
Yeah, I ended up making a mistake and totally forgot my braking marker, but yeah, no, I had bent steering from that turn one, so I was just thrilled to be able to keep up with him. I don't think I would have had enough to pass him, but would have got interesting, I think.
Well, your teammate definitely had some pace tonight, and I think you had a fair bit as well in the car. Do you feel it was pretty consistent, just lap time wise, even with that bent steering?
Yeah, even then I was doing consistent mid to sort of high 19s every lap. Car didn't seem to go off that much. It was just, in the end, it was a driver error that sorted second spot. But yeah, no, the work that the team's done this week was brilliant. One of the nicest cars around this track I've driven in a long time.
Speaking of the track, Jason, obviously Twin Ring's probably the one track, or might even be the only track most of us have raced the V8 in at night. So how do you feel about night racing in the V8 Supercar? Would you like to see more of it?
Yeah, I actually really enjoy it. It was one of the first ever races I did in a V8 was here at night, and that's sort of always been that one night track. But I'm sure there's a few other tracks we could race at night that would have the same sort of atmosphere that this one creates.
Well, mate, it was a cracking drive tonight. We've got your teammate downstairs in the green room, so we'll let you go. If you've got anyone you want to thank before you head off?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the team sponsors from Hyperstimulator, Custom Image Concepts, Inspec Engineering, and all the guys for the help and support they give.
Well, thanks, Jason. That was Jason Dixon, third place tonight in the Monday night main race. We'll bring up Josh Rogers, the winner, in dominant fashion. Josh, welcome to the Vets Online booth, mate. Cracking race, lights the flag, just drove away from the field there.
Yeah, cheers, boys. That was that was an interesting race. I watched most of turn one through my mirror, and I was a bit surprised. But yeah, that was a good race. The car was really good. Didn't really go off too much. I was surprised by the race pace, really, compared to quali. Although being 18-degree track, the tyre wear was very minimal, and I guess the speed out of it in quali wouldn't have been as great as say on the race in about lap 4. But yeah, no, look, a good race all in all. Pretty sure a fair few people had their ups and downs through that one, and I bet it was a pretty exciting one to call.
Yeah, definitely lots of shunts out there, mate. So we asked the same question of Dixon. What do you reckon about night racing? Obviously, you're a go-karter, as am I, and we do a fair bit of night racing here and there. Obviously, want to see a bit more of it when we go racing V8s.
Oh yeah, night racing's mad fun. I think the cold track does make it a little bit interesting too. But yeah, no, I really enjoy night racing. Although the V8, if only it had a bit better headlights. Although I think it's still something that's good for the car. The car is fine and like in those kind of conditions. and as well as the racing, not being able to quite see people so much. I think it makes things quite interesting. Yeah.
Well, mate, congratulations on the win. Another dominant performance. We look forward to hopefully seeing more of these in the broadcast as we get going and into V8 Scops. Anyone you'd like to thank before you head off?
Yeah, just a thanks to Hyperstimulator as always. They do a great job of taking care of us and TTL. Sam, obviously, done some pretty good work on the setup this week. It was mad. Cheers. And you boys too, doing some good broadcasts, and it's good to see V8's online back for the Monday nights.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. We'll gladly see you next week, hopefully at Zandvoort. I think last guy we're going to chat to before we go is Corey Preston, obviously involved in a very major first lap incident and managed to recover and come back to the field. Corey, how was your night, mate?
Yeah, you're right. Certainly was interesting, wasn't it? But I just didn't have the outright pace tonight. I messed quali up, and yeah, it was just a salvage mission, but it went a bit better than I expected.
We had some good race pace though, Corey. That's what I think you might have touched on there. You did drive through the field once you got through that chaos that was to lap 1, really. Did you feel the car, if you had got the quali lap right, you had the pace to be sort of up in that top 5 area? Not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, seem to have lost Corey there.
Yeah, I thought it was my end going a bit crazy, but I can hear you talking, Jake. So I think we've lost Corey there.
No, I'm here. What was the last thing I said?
Nothing. The last thing you said was no response to the question, so I'll go through it again, Corey. So if you hadn't got your qualifying right, would you have reckoned you went up
I think
there?
I was saying something about the salvage mission.
So we're having a few technical issues with Corey. If we've got one...
I heard him that time.
Corey, are you alive? Seems like that's a no, so we'll let him fix his issues, and maybe bring him back. We are waiting. We have got word that Ronald Sullivan is coming across. He's just having a few issues, I think, connecting to the TeamSpeak server. So we'll wait and see if he comes along. Seems like no one's joining us. Yeah, so we'll wrap this up. This has been round 8 of the Season 1 2017 of the V8 Supercars Official Series. V8 Mondays are back on V8's Online. Thanks for joining us, myself, Sam Sutton and Jake Burton. Pleasure to call this race, and we'll see you guys next week from Zandvoort for hopefully another exciting race.